Politics is a game of life and death. Presidents can have the power to order men to war. They have the power to make your lives miserable. They have the power to make your children destitute. The decisions inside of politics that are made by politicians can affect all of us, and that is why it is so incredibly important. This is why I don't know. I don't live too far away from Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. I don't know who the quarterback is for the Bucs. I don't care. I don't, because that can't actually change or hurt or harm my life. Politics can. It is a deadly game, and it's something that can change. If you're a parent, and I'm a parent of 3 young, beautiful children, it's a game that can really affect you. Your children can be ordered to go die in a sandbox somewhere so that a couple people at Halliburton or Raytheon get some extra points on their stock portfolios, or their lives could just be made totally miserable, and so can yours. Politics is a very important game. It's a deadly game. It's a game of life and death, and it always has been. It always has been. It's why we pay attention to it so closely, and why we deeply appreciate if you would subscribe to our channel. But more importantly here, because the stakes are so incredibly high, you need to be sure that you are voting for someone and you are selecting somebody for office who is willing to die for what they believe in. Would you be willing to die for your family? Yes, of course you would, because you're a moral person. You care about your children. You care about your wife, your kids, your mother, your father. You would be willing to die for your family. Well, if you're electing a leader, they are the head of this national household. That person should be willing to die for this country. And Donald Trump just proved that he is willing to die for this country, to die for what he believes in, and that he's running for office. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, they needed the office of the presidency. Donald Trump didn't and doesn't. Donald Trump's a billionaire that could buy his own island anywhere he wanted to and live forever in a lap of luxury, private jets, champagne, caviar, like not a single care in the world. Donald Trump didn't need this, but we needed Donald Trump. This alone, the fact that this man is willing to die and is so triumphant in the face of death for his beliefs, this alone should be enough to win all 50 states for President Trump. I predict a 50-state landslide. I predict more scandals. I predict that and we've been pretty good on predictions, actually, over the past couple of months. We've seen pretty much all of them come true. And I just played you Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson clips from our show predicting what we just saw today, the assassination of President Trump. I predict that there is going to be a scandal that spins wildly out of control for the Department of Homeland Security, stripping funding from Donald Trump's Secret Service. I'm seeing that. I am seeing those sabers rattle all across my social feed. I think this is going to be a massive scandal. The assassination and the death of their primary political opponent. I think we're going to see Donald Trump poll numbers skyrocket. And I think we're going to see a world remade, and we're going to see this nation saved. There's a change in the vibe, the energy change. You can feel it, man. You can feel it. Are you alive? Do you have a soul? If you're alive and you have a soul, you felt the spiritual energy change in this nation. And so join me, join our team in doing what we must do to save our family, which is to elect somebody who's willing to die for us. This man is willing to die for us. We've speculated that before on this program, and now we know, as a matter of fact, that President Trump is willing to die for us. The least that we can do is show up and cast a vote for him and bring our family and bring our friends to make sure that we have somebody who's willing to protect us, who's willing to die for what he believes in office. And why is that important? It's important because politics is a game of life and death. And I don't care how old you are. I'm in my mid-30s, and I've lived through most of my life. America's been at war and sending men like me to war. It's a matter of life and death. I don't care how old you are. You know this. You know this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, elect the man who's willing to die for what he believes in. Elect the man who's willing to die for us. That should be enough. And I'll begin the petition today to make this image carved into the mountainside of Mount Rushmore. That's my final bold prediction. This is going to be the Mount Rushmore imagery and iconography for Donald Trump. Many questions that we cannot answer right now. President Trump is safe.
Millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump. They love him in spite of everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself. They love Donald Trump because no one else loves them. The country they built, the country their ancestors fought for over hundreds of years, has left them to die in their unfashionable little towns, mocked and despised by the sneering half-wits with finance degrees but no actual skills who seem to run everything all of a sudden. Whatever Donald Trump's faults, he is better than the rest of the people in charge. At least he doesn't hate them for their weakness. Donald Trump, in other words, is and has always been a living indictment of the people who run this country. That was true 4 years ago when Trump came out of nowhere to win the presidency, and it's every bit as true right now. Trump rose because they failed. It's as simple as that. If the people in charge had done a halfway decent job with the country they inherited, if they'd cared about anything other than themselves, even for just a moment, Donald Trump would still be hosting Celebrity Apprentice. But they didn't. Instead, they were incompetent and narcissistic and cruel and relentlessly dishonest. They wrecked what they didn't build. They lied about it. They hurt anyone who told the truth about what they were doing. That's true. We watched. America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them. That's what's going on in this country.